One down, one to go. Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, presented by Toyota and Bet365. One win away now from advancing to the NLDS. The Cubs beat the Padres 3-1. It was Seiya. It was Nico. It was Boyd. It was Carson Kelley. It was the Magic Rally Cake. CHGO Cubs Playoff Edition. Next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast, driven by Toyota, Let's Go Places, and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use code CHGO365 at sign up, huh? Put it in the books.
Yes.
Playoff win for the Cubs, the first in CHGO Cubs history. We are here, one more to go to knock the Padres out.
Yes.
And all of that talk about the mighty Padres bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the Cubs bullpen with 4 2/3 innings, zeros.
Yes. And I said it yesterday on our previous show, the Cubs bullpen since the trade deadline has been really, really, really good. These are two good bullpens. And someone in the chat said the Cubs bullpen came in with a chip on their shoulder because all the limelight went over the Padres. And then the Cubs, over 4 innings of 0-run baseball for the bullpen. Awesome.
Anyone that woke up this morning and went on ESPN.com or MLB.com and was looking at predictions for the wild card round, everyone was picking the Padres because of that bullpen. And I know this is one game, and we have to go out there. We have to do it again tomorrow. But guess what we just did? We just beat the San Diego Padres at their game. Mm-hmm. The only difference is we have a lot more power in our lineup, and we were able to deliver with those back-to-back jacks from Seiya and Carson. Luke, this was a day when a Cubs offense struck out 13 times and figured out a way to scratch out 3 runs. I get it. Mason Miller looked great. Nick Pivetta looked unhittable for a second, but the Cubs got it done. And Justin, to your point, our bullpen stepped up in a huge way after Matthew Boyd, pitched wonderfully for the first, 4 1/3 innings.
Yeah.
But the rest of that, though, was the bullpen stepping up, stepping in line, and getting it done.
Shout out to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel.
Wait, whoa!
That's the rally cake is falling over.
The rally cake.
The boss just took the rally cake away. It was kind of falling over a little bit. After it did its job, it was getting a little weak in the knees, which is understandable.
It was. It can't carry us the whole way.
It can't carry us the whole way. Listen, we had a great time. Luke Stuckmeyer, Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman, Sarah running the 1s and 2s. Everybody that was on the live watch along for game 1, we appreciate you. I think it was over 500 at one point.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging and watching the game with us. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. We're doing it for game 2 as well. Mm-hmm. We have Jared Wyllys at the ballpark right now getting post-game interviews. He will join us and talk to us at some point here in the post-game show. We want to talk with you, just like we do after every game, the sickos. We want to know what you thought of this win. Let us know in the live YouTube chat. We're going to talk all about it. We all had a good feeling going into this game, right?
We did, yeah.
And
here comes that rally cake.
Wow.
A little bit smaller
significantly
than it was.
smaller rally cake has
Luke,
returned.
really fast, because people in the chat are asking, everyone's into the rally cake. Short version of why it's our rally cake.
Correct.
What did you do to change the mojo
Okay,
here?
first of all, Justin brings desserts. That's what he does.
That's what I do.
Today he decided to bring the Portillo's salted caramel spice cake. Seasonal. Beautiful. Came in, and I said early in the game, it was like second inning, third inning, I said, the offense is doing nothing. I might have to wait to get a piece of rally cake till the 5th inning. Yeah. 5th inning, I went over, I pulled out the rally cake, and I came over and said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to let it warm up.
Yeah. It was in the fridge, and you pulled it out.
It was in the fridge.
Right.
Warm up like the Cubs offense.
Yeah.
The skies opened up, the sunshine came through, and boom, Seiya Suzuki home run. Carson Kelley, boom, home run. The rally cake rallied the offense.
It did.
And that was it. That was
the second it hit your lips.
The second it hit my lips, it was like, boom, there it goes.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, the next run, the insurance run, I did have a little piece of cake.
Yeah.
Oh, you put some in your pocket and just kind of pulled it out in a
That's
moment
right.
of need.
So there it is. The rally cake is 1-0 in the postseason. This means Justin will have to bring a cake for every post-game show that we do now.
Now, question. I do bring desserts. My wife is a great cook. She was planning on baking tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Does that count? Is that still a dessert treat? Or
Sure, it does.
Okay.
Pressure's on her, though.
It is.
You know, I
It's
don't
gotta
want
be
to.
good. It's got to be good, right?
Kenzie, I don't want to say anything, but pressure's
All
on you.
eyes. All eyes on the dessert now.
Oh, we're changing things up. This cake's 1-0. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, we talked so much about the offense in the last 2-3 months of the season, really. You know, like the second half of the season, it was about how is this offense going to get going? And while they only scored 3 runs, first off, hats off to Pivetta. He was great.
For 4 innings, he was great.
For 4 innings, he was great until he wasn't.
Yep.
But what I liked about this game was postseason is different. You're not always going to score 13 runs, 14 runs, the double-digit runs. But they scored in multiple ways, okay? They wouldn't have won this game without the 2 solo home runs from a guy that had been so ice cold going up to about 7 days ago.
Yeah.
Now 5 straight days he's homered in. Seiya. And Carson Kelley, a guy who's your backup catcher and has surprised you all season. Great, you got the home runs. That's what you do in Major League Baseball. But that last run that made you feel more comfortable was completely small ball. It was moving guys over. So that's what the Cubs were doing early in the season. They were winning games like this. Yes, they were blowing teams out, but they were also moving guys over and hitting home runs in the same way. So you were attacking it multiple ways, and it worked in the postseason.
Yeah, Luke, and we're going to talk a ton about the home runs, right? Because it was the best part of the day, and it was so great to see. And if you were at that game at Wrigley Field, or even watching in the chat here or watching with us, we got jacked up when that happened. But you're talking about that inning specifically.
5th inning.
The shadows passed over the mound. All of a sudden, maybe you could see the ball a little bit more clearly. Dansby hits an absolute rope for a base hit, right? Matt Shaw, rookie Matt Shaw, who has not had a good day at the plate, able to get the bunt down, move the guy over to first. They elect to walk Michael Busch, which seems to be in fad right now. Teams seem to be really interested in intentionally walking Michael Busch.
Which, by the way, San Diego's got to be going crazy because that backfired massively.
Backfired big time, right? So they walked him to bring up, right as he was walking to the plate, we start calling it Mr. Rispy himself, runners in scoring position, Mr. Glue Guy, Nico Horner, who had a problem with some of that outer half stuff all day long. Literally just kind of like as if he was like in the rough, just trying to like get the ball back into the fairway, knocks it out. Oh, and I forgot almost the wild pitch.
Yeah.
They moved the runners over to second
by
and third.
Former Cub Jeremiah Estrada.
Estrada, who of all the guys in the
you.
bullpen that we covered yesterday was the one guy that I think we all thought that they could attack. One guy that had a bad September. One guy that Padres fans were screaming and begging Mike Schilt not to bring into a game. They bring him into the game, throws a wild pitch second and third, and then Nico gets done with the sac fly. You know, Justin, the home runs are great, and we're going to need those because that's a big part of what this Cubs offense is.
Yes.
But getting that extra insurance run,
was huge.
that little breathing room, right? And the playoffs, it's so thin on the margins.
Yes.
That inning especially gave me a lot of confidence moving forward for the Cubs.
1,000%. And now, on the preview show yesterday, I talked about 2016 World Series, Game 5. We're down. Crowd's very nervous, very anxious. Teams pressing a little bit until Chris Bryant hit the home run. I see a lot of similarities. I know the magnitude isn't the same. I see a lot of similarities in this game because our offense was cold. Some bad PCA had a bad day at the plate. Ian Happ had a bad day at the plate. And, we're losing 1-0. All right, it's going to 5th inning here, And then what happens? Seiya Suzuki hits a bomb, and it's like the weight of the world is off your shoulders. And you could just see it. I mean, who would have predicted back-to-back jacks? But, you see Carson Kelley now. He can do his thing. It made the world of difference, and it was that one swing of the bat to allow us to have the insurance runs late. But, our offense was cold. The team may have been pressing a little bit, a lot of pressure. But it was that one swing of the bat that changed the entire dynamic of not just Wrigley Field, of probably the clubhouse, our studio. We felt different when Seiya hit that bomb, didn't we?
Yeah, and it's funny because we talked going into it about whether or not momentum actually carries over into a postseason game. And we looked at the Tigers and Guardians and said, no, Scuba was great. It didn't do anything for the Guardians. In this case, Seiya had been so ice cold. He goes into the All-Star break. We're all mad that he's not on the All-Star team because he leads the majors in RBI.
Yeah. Over 80, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we're looking at the numbers, and down the stretch, we're sitting here going, man, he's got like 12 since the All-Star break. Like, what's happening? Like, he was as cold could be. He was North Pole cold, right? And we were talking about, man, they need to sit him. They need to give him the sitting treatment like they did last year. And he has heated up like, and did it carry over? Man, did it carry over.
5 games in a row with a home run. 5 games in a row.
Right. And look, I'm with you that, we beat up on the Cardinals over the weekend. It was great to see. Does that momentum carry over? I don't know. But when we talk about Seiya Suzuki, again, before Kyle Tucker was a Chicago Cub, a lot of people, even players to a man, would say that Seiya Suzuki was their most talented offensive hitter that they had in their lineup.
Right.
And the thing that I go back to, again, is I was just so impressed when we played the Mets last week and Nolan McLean was on the mound throwing, I felt like 5 different pitches for strikes.
Yeah, he's good.
Absolutely mystifying everybody. But Seiya was able to get to him.
Yeah.
And today, very similar situation. Nick Pivetta was running the house on his four-seam fastball upstairs.
He was.
Cubs could not figure it out. Now, we'll dive into a little bit of, I get second time around the lineup, you start to try and mix in different pitches. He definitely did that, and it didn't work.
Right.
But it was Seiya Suzuki on a day when everyone else was ice cold and not getting it done. The guy who was heralded as one of your most talented hitters coming through against a really good pitcher, their de facto ace, taking him yard in a playoff game. And I'm just so happy for Seiya too, because we all know that he's a really good dude, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to play well. That part aside of the production, but again, it's your big guys coming up in big moments against really good pitchers, and that's what Seiya did, and that's what's so fun.
All I can do is think about that. My favorite GIF is Seiya Suzuki in the dugout, up and down. Like that GIF is like my favorite.
He's a goofball.
He's so happy. Like I just, he had a really, really rough stretch. I would say, partway through the season, he looked completely lost. I mean, completely lost.
Yes.
And for him to heat up towards the end here, and for him to deliver arguably the biggest, for sure, the biggest hit of wild card game 1
of his career, by the way,
right?
Of Seiya's career, 100%.
Not even close.
It's just, it changed the whole dynamic with one swing of the bat, and that's why baseball is so great. Our offense looked ice cold for over 4 innings, and then Seiya comes up and changes everything, and then Carson Kelley, boom, back to back. Literally. I'm so happy for Seiya. I'm happy for our team. I'm happy for CHGO, your first playoff game. And, it's good vibes here because of Seiya Suzuki's swing.
Yeah.
Seiya and, like you said, Carson Kelley. And we talk about all the offseason moves and whether they were enough or not, and they may still prove to be not enough. But Carson Kelley was a check in Jed Hoyer's success box, right?
Totally.
Like, you look at what Carson Kelley has given you as a quote-unquote backup catcher. Now you're starting catcher because Amaya's been hurt so much. You want to talk about exceeding projections.
Yeah.
Right? He's done it so many times. I don't know if there's another guy on the team that we've said, we all joke because there was the Sandberg game. We now like to joke about, this was the Boyd game. This was the so-and-so game.
The Michael Busch game.
I don't know how many times we've called it the Carson Kelley game.
Yeah.
And his numbers will not stack up against other guys on the team overall, but the amount of games that it feels like Carson Kelley has helped win, it's up there.
Agreed.
Well, and he's not Cal Raleigh, right?
No,
but he's up there.
No.
He's up
He's
there
the
as an
small
above.
dumper. He's a small dumper.
He's an above, certainly an above average
He's our
catcher.
cubby dumper.
He's the cubby dumper.
The cubby dumper.
No one saw him hitting 17 bombs this year, and now it's 18 into the postseason, right, as we head into October. No one saw
the
that.
Wrigley dumper.
The Wrigley
dumper.
You bring up, Luke, I think you were about to say, I don't know if anybody has surprised you production-wise more than Carson Kelley.
Yes.
I would argue that Matthew Boyd was the other one that surprised you just as much. And those two guys played a major part in today's game because Matthew Boyd came over. I don't think everyone was thrilled about it. He had a great postseason, but there wasn't a whole body of work there. And if you look at what Matthew Boyd did the first half of the season, all-star Matthew Boyd, and he was your game 1 starter today. And he did, we talked about it. He did great. Was he lights out? No, he did great though.
Kept them completely in it. Matthew Boyd had the emotional press conference yesterday. We're going to talk more about Matthew Boyd, the win, Cubs up 1-0. We hope that Jared Wyllys is going to join us in just a minute. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Whatever the moment, Cubs fans, the sport and app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits. They got low holds and exceptional customer service. So now you can bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season, whether it's Cubs, whether it's Bulls, Blackhawks, or even those Chicago Bears. Bet on all of those favorite teams with spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it all, so fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. I don't know, maybe the Chicago Cubs got a little playoffs going on right now. Nothing too bad. Throw a little sprinkle on that. Chicago Bears in a bye. Can they get over 500? So here's what you got to do. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 plus or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, Jon Snow. Winter is coming.
Ooh.
Is your home's heating up for the challenge? Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric is ready for you. Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Thinking about a whole home generator also? Well, they've got you covered as well. Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and generator needs. No extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Check out these offers. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Right now, furnaces start at $39 a month. Furnace AC combos at $57 a month. What you want to do is call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric has been serving our Chicago area for more than 50 years. Your trusted local experts. Four Seasons Heating, Cooling, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's Four Seasons Heating Cooling.com. Winter is coming. 3-1 Cubs. Winter might be coming, but not just yet for the Chicago Cubs.
Not this week.
Nice and warm at Wrigley Field. It
False
felt
fall.
like summertime shy out there. And you wanted to mention real quick that, listen, this offense did a lot of great stuff today. Even though it was only 3-1, they were clutch as much as they were anything, right? Like, there were some swings by PCA that I couldn't believe he was swinging at.
He looked bad. He did.
But when they needed it, they got the two big hits, and then they got that last run.
Well, I just wanted to highlight in regards to Carson Kelley, like, one, from the catching position, the production that we've gotten from the catching position. It's been a long day. We just did a long watch-along, so I'm forgetting how many home runs Miguel Amaya hit, but you're looking at 23, 24 home runs just from the catching position alone for the Cubs this year. The only thing I wanted to highlight really quick is just look at what the Cubs' back half of the lineup did today, right? Carson Kelley in the sixth spot. You and I both agree. We don't like him in the cleanup, right?
No,
you want him in that back half of the lineup, hits a big bomb to give us the 2-1 lead. PCA, we highlighted, not a good day from him. We're going to expect better from him tomorrow. But then right after that, Dansby Swanson, big base hit, big insurance third run.
Hustle.
And Matt Shaw, not great at the plate today, but got a sack bunt down, right? So if you're looking for stuff that aren't your big boppers or your headliners or your billboard guys, that back half of the lineup for the Chicago Cubs came to play today and got us in a position. And Manu if Dansby scored a run, Carson Kelley got the home run. Those are two of your runs right there.
And, Joey, that back half of the lineup was also producing when the Cubs were the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
again, it's another thing that's sort of come full circle, and we hope it continues in the postseason.
One more thing I want to add, too, is that, listen, this is a great win, great game for a lot of players. PCA looked horrible at the plate. Ian Happ looked bad at the plate. Kyle Tucker didn't do anything at the plate. Now, listen, baseball is a team sport. Guys, they got to flush that because the Cubs won. It's great,
Yes.
And then tomorrow, Happ could be your star. Tucker could be your hero. PCA could be electrifying. Like this, and then also
someone else step up.
Defensively, PCA made some great catches. Ian Happ scared us all half to death, but he made the catch.
So did Seiya.
So did Seiya. I mean, ultimately, you can help your team in so many different ways, but the Cubs have so many different offensive weapons that it could be a different hero every day, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
We were watching the game, and there were some defensive moments, but also early in the game, Dansby was making game-saving plays early.
Stud.
Like, you don't think that you have those early in the game, but when it's 1-0 and you're trying to hang on to 1-0, being only down 1-0 because that bullpen's coming, those defensive plays by Dansby were super, super important. Hey, we want to tell you, we are going to have Jared Wyllys joining from the ballpark. He's in the clubhouse for us, Credential Media, and you don't want to miss what Jared is writing, and that's why we have our Die Hard sale going on right now. It's $36 is the special right now, or For $59, you can upgrade that membership to get one of the branded bill limited edition CHGO lids, along with your other perks that come with the CHGO membership. And that's like merch discounts, that's all of it. The Discord lounge, the events discounts, we get, the merch is great in itself, but that continues throughout all of your membership for the 1 year. So anyways, that's going on right now. So the offense was obviously a bit of a roller coaster ride in this game. What was not was Cubs pitching.
Whew.
That was as consistent as you want to see it, and that means not one guy, that means all of them. And so this is our Taking the Temp segment, all right? Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons, fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. You want to do a Taking the Temp on the Cubs' arms in this game? Blistering hot. I thought Pivetta was going to be the story of the game.
He was for 4 innings.
But, man, Matthew Boyd was with him. Pitch for pitch. It was one pitch that was really a mistake for him, right? Left it over, center cut, problem. Nobody was on base. Wasn't the end of the world. And did he let it unravel? Because a lot of people were saying, Matthew Boyd, quick hook. You got to have the quick hook. If he shows any signs of weakness, you got to have a quick hook because he's looked tired at the end of the season.
Yes.
He hunkered down.
He did.
And he bulldogged the rest of his outing. And he put the Cubs in position to hand this to the bullpen to then take over and put them in position so that the home run, the solo homers made a difference.
Yeah, final line on the game, 4 1/3 innings on 58 pitches, only 2 Ks, only 1 walk, the 1 earned run, and 4 hits. And we were talking during the watch-along, right, that Nick, how do you like your pitching, right? Nick Pivetta was getting a ton of swing and miss, right?
Yeah.
But Matthew Boyd wasn't getting a ton of hard contact.
Yep.
And he was able to pitch around it. That 1 walk came to Manny Machado. If you're going to walk somebody in the Padres lineup, I'm totally cool with that.
Agreed.
To be honest with you. But, man, he came out, and look, I'm going to stay firm on this, that I don't know if he is back to the sharp Matthew Boyd self of the all-star form that we saw probably in July. And maybe he won't get there because guess what? It's about to be October. And it's okay if you're not exactly the same place that you were before. But, yeah, I mean, gutsy, gritty, made pitches when he wanted to. That changeup works in any part, any situation, any day of time, any time of day, any kind of weather. It worked for him. And Justin, man, I'll just tell you, after what Matthew Boyd said yesterday at the podium.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm not going to speak for him, but his grandfather must be really proud.
Absolutely.
And he made every Cub proud. He made every Cub fan incredibly proud of his performance today.
Yes.
And hopefully it's not going to be his last one. Hopefully there's more to come. But I was really impressed.
I was going to say, I can't wait for his next start.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, full disclosure, I was crying watching his press conference yesterday. It really choked me up, And, for his grandfather, I lost my father. So, I know the connection with the Cubs and your grandfather or your father, whatever it is. Matthew Boyd was great. But you know who was on fire? Our Cubs bullpen was unbelievable. Check out this line. 4 2/3 of an inning, 0 hits, 0 walks, 0 runs, 4 Ks.
Is that good, Luke?
Yes. And that's the trend in baseball, that the bullpen is actually pitching more or slightly more than actually the starting pitchers. And who's the first guy to come in?
Palencia. And he was, for the record, him coming out that second inning and finishing the inning was huge. He put out the fire.
Somebody just said that in the chat. Five outs from Palencia, as big as anybody.
He put out the fire, and then he came back out. I joked, bring him out for the 7th. He looked amazing. There are certain guys that I feel thrive off of the Wrigley crowd and the energy. I think Daniel Palencia shows that he's one of them. PCA, I think Javi Baez was one of those guys. But I really believe Daniel Palencia is one of those guys. He thrives off the energy. You could see it. He throws hard, but now he's getting 101. And I mean, I feel it pumps him up. The crowd gets behind him. He was huge today for us. And I'm not sure I expected that because, he's coming off an injury, kind of rehabbing to get him where he is right now. But he was a huge part of that bullpen, and the entire bullpen was nails.
Seiya, Palencia, Boyd, all guys who just had dips in the second half of the season. You were like, will I feel confidence in them to go to that player in the postseason? Boyd answered yes. Seiya answered yes. Palencia
answered yes.
Big time. And, hey, tip of the cap to Craig Counsell.
Yeah. Yes,
like
I was
as many
about to say,
as many times
you
as
have
we,
to do it. You have to do it today, right? You have
as
to give
many
him credit.
times as we have questioned, and a lot of people were saying, should Mo Baller be in here? Should he pinch hit? Should this happen? Should this guy come in? We were guessing who was coming in next. He made the right call.
He did.
He made the right call multiple times today. Now, the players have to make him look good.
For sure.
But he made the decision to bring in Palencia, and he made the decision to let Palencia go the full second inning, and it was the right move to put the right guy. And I'm not sure I was ready to make that. I'm not sure my confidence was fully back in Palencia yet.
Be honest, we were talking here, all of us, and we were like, maybe put Keller in right now.
Yeah,
put out the
maybe
fire
use
right
Keller
now,
at this point.
And then Palencia could get the save. And they brought Palencia in. We're like, okay, it worked out perfectly. And you got to give Craig Counsell credit because you're right. He could make the right moves, and the players could not follow through. It makes him look dumb. But he made the right move there because Palencia put out the fire and then shortened the game by going out one more inning.
Yeah, no, he had 3 choices, right, in this game that he had to push the right button and put the right players in the position to succeed. The first one is Matthew Boyd comes out. Who do you go to first in that situation? Daniel Palencia got the job done. The second one was a lot of lefties coming up. Is it going to be Pomerantz? Is it going to be Thielbar?
Yes.
I thought it was going to be Thielbar because you've seen that was the formula all year long was Thielbar, Kittredge, Keller, rock and roll, see you later, we're out of here. At least over the last month of the season, he chose Pomerantz. That worked. And then finally, as you mentioned, when you got Fernando Tatís coming up, he let Kittredge face him, and then Brad Keller finished it out. So, you have to do this, right? You have to be honest with yourself and say, when Craig Counsell, when you're upset with his lineups, when you're upset with his decisions during the season, this is game 1 of a wild card round, and I know it is always going to be players first, but Craig Counsell deserves some of that credit. My question for you, Luke, really quick before we move off of this one is this Palencia's new role? And when I say that, I mean he is that stopper that comes in and brings something different to the table after the starter in these playoff games. Is that the new role? I don't even know what to call it. It's not a fireman. Is it a bridge guy? What is it? Or do you see him maybe getting into games later now, or do you think this is maybe what Craig wants to deploy him as?
Is he like the fixer, right? Like this is the guy you got to come in to clean stuff up right now.
Pulp Fiction, the wolf.
He puts on the fire with the gasolina.
Counsell, by the way, after the game said, quote, about the bullpen, it was perfect today. Just a brilliant job. It was, and he pulled the right strings. I don't know if this is his role. Like, for instance, let's say this happens again tomorrow. Do you feel the same way with these guys in back-to-back situations, or do you back off Palencia because he just gave you 5 outs? I would say he's probably, I don't know, because everything is on the table.
But you win tomorrow, you don't play Thursday or Friday.
I understand
So
that.
I think everyone's on the table tomorrow.
Effectiveness. And so I also asked the question, we were talking about this near the end of the season where it was just sort of like game management for Counsell. And I wondered it when I saw the playoff roster coming out today. It was like, did they play every card right going into this? Okay. So there were games where we were all saying, come on, you got to get the top seed. You got to get these games at Wrigley. We know you're not going to win the division. And he would make some moves, Counsell, and you would say, I don't know. And then you would make other moves and you would say, I wonder if he's doing this to plant this seed or see if this works for the postseason. Can I count on this, right? Okay. So Palencia went the one time and I said, it was one of his, I think it might have been his first outing back. And instead of a closer's role, he comes in like the middle of the game. And we were saying,
there you go.
Is he testing this is his new role? Or is there also knowing your player and knowing that I got to light just a little. I need a little bit of flint if you're on the show Survivor to get that fire going under this guy coming back from the injury because he was so disappointed about the way he went to the injured list. Was coming back and seeing that his role was no longer closer for a second enough to spark this guy and say, well, I'll show you. I don't know, but he's been spectacular since he came back.
2 things I want to say about Palencia. I feel like Palencia was lights out his first stretch, right? I think he was pitching with somewhat of an injury, and that's why eventually he kind of trended downwards and then eventually went on the IL. Coming back, he's looked really, really good. Tonight, he looked awesome. Today, he looked awesome. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting it was a day game, but he looked awesome, right? And I just feel like this is who Palencia is. For the majority of the season, he was lights out, and today you saw that as well. I'll say one more thing. Counsell's big knock has always been he fails in the postseason. You know what? His first postseason game as the manager of my favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, he made all the right moves. Props to him. As far as I'm concerned, he's undefeated in the postseason as the manager of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, Daniel Palencia might not be the closer right now for the Chicago Cubs, and we talked about that psychology, especially when he was cursing himself off the mound after that first appearance. But Craig Counsell definitely empowered Daniel Palencia today, and that was a huge vote of confidence, and Daniel Palencia rewarded that. So 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th inning, whatever it was, I think Craig Counsell gave him a lot of confidence today, and he was able to perform.
P2, K2, it was Palencia, Pomeranz, Kittredge, Keller. Beautiful. We're going to talk more about the Cubs. Who are your three, if this was hockey, who are your 3 stars for this Cubs playoff win? We ask you in the live YouTube chat. But first, a word from our sponsors.
At Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer and even autumn fun. So, hey, Cubs fans, there's 25 vehicles available right now with all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. There's that RAV4 with its legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real, and the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. So find yours at Toyota.com or visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. We also want to talk about becoming a CHGO diehard. Could be one of the best decisions of your sports fandom life. Right now,
It will be the best decision.
Will be. Right now, Luke, we have an introductory offer for $36 right now to become a diehard. Or you can go up to what? The $59 one?
Yeah, get that lid.
Get that sweet CHGO branded Bills cap. So head on over to allchgo.com for the latest information. And you can join join the thousands of CHGO diehards in our community. Exclusive written content, free t-shirt, plenty of discounts, and access to our CHGO Discord lounge. Join us now.
Let's get real. The world has gone soft. And that's fine when you're talking about cupcakes and angel food cake and the caress of your loved one. Everything needs to be bubble wrapped. Soda used to have some kick. Now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz. RC Cola's not a soft drink. It's just a damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RC's the OG in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow-up. RC hasn't changed their stripes since 1905 because they don't need to. It's the same bold, crisp flavor it's always been. RC Cola tastes like a punch right in the thirst. Do yourself a favor. Grab some RC at your local store. Stock up for those Bears parties, for Cubs playoffs, or just hanging out with the fam. RC is the move for whatever you're doing. Wow, what a win. Playoff win, 3-1, a comeback win for the Cubs. They've done it all season long, and they do it again, one away from moving on to the NLDS. We're going to talk about the Game 2 starter coming up in just a minute. We have our buddy Jared Wyllys, who's going to join us. He's setting up right now live at Wrigley Field. Real quick, want to tell you it's something special we've done the entire month here at September, and we hope we can finish off in a big way here. Think about your favorite athlete. Every single one of them had a coach, a mentor, a family member who believed in them first, somebody who saw their potential, gave them the confidence to go for it. That's what Big Brothers, Big Sisters does every single day. They create life-changing connections for kids in our community. So here at CHGO in September, we've been teaming up with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, trying to help fund their mission. Put a champion in these kids' corner. You could be that champion. If you're watching on YouTube, the donate button is in the corner of the screen. It's the little handshake. If you have any money at all that you're able to donate, and we know not everybody does right now, but any amount counts, it's on that screen. If you're listening to this later in podcast form, go to bbbs.org/allcity. Let's help ignite the potential of the next generation. Again, for podcast listeners, bbbs.org/allcity. We thank you. You guys have been great this month of September, and maybe you feel even better about igniting the next generation in the future after a wonderful Cubs win. 3-1 comeback win. It was 1-0 for so long. I was getting anxiety. And then we had the lucky cake, the rally cake. You all know about it. If you don't, go back and watch the show. That cake has been retired for the day.
We actually have some rally frosting on the W flag because it kind of
rally
fell over.
Frosting. One that's been signed by Ben Zobrist and others.
And it's got frosting on it now, too.
Yeah, the cake is at the CHGO trainers room right now, so we can get it ready to play tomorrow. We need that cake in the lineup, so we're doing everything we can to get it ready.
So Craig Counsell pressed a lot of correct buttons in this one. We're going to talk about his Game 2 starter in a minute. And Jared Wyllys, I believe, is almost ready to join us from Wrigley Field. So I don't want to take his thunder, Mr. Wyllys. Look at this. Look at how handsome
this gentleman is. With the Wrigley seats in the background.
Green.
Come on, Jared.
That's a playoff. And if you don't think that man has a playoff stogie for the ride home,
you don't know.
He might burn 2 of those bad boys right down to the nub. Jared, who is the Game 2 starter?
Andrew Kittredge.
Andrew Kittredge. So an opener.
Yeah, just been announced. Yeah, definitely an opener situation. Most likely scenario, of course, is that Shota Imanaga will follow after that. But it looks like we'll see Kittredge for the first inning, I imagine, because you look at those first 3 guys in the Padres lineup. You want to burn through those 3 and then get to Shota, and hopefully, with a 5-inning outing or so from Shota, you're into the 6th or so before you have to turn it back over to the bullpen. So, we'll see Kittredge for at least the first.
Jared, what was your biggest takeaway just from the locker room? It could be vibes, it could be a player, it could be a feeling, but obviously the Chicago Cubs down 1-0 in this game, back-to-back home runs, make it 2-1. Everyone talks about how great this Padres pitching is, how great this Padres bullpen is. Chicago Cubs win the day on that. So, what were the emotions? What were the vibes in the locker room?
I mean, they were definitely pleased, particularly, we talked a lot about the 2 home runs, the Seiya Suzuki home run, the Carson Kelley home run. Those are obviously a big story. But I think one of the standout things from talking to, Busch and Swanson afterwards was just the importance of, the defense and keeping them from having a couple of innings get away from them earlier in the game. Boyd did a really nice job, but he was definitely supported by that defense through the first 4 and the 3rd. So there's that, but then I think, too, that insurance run, there was some talk about just the value of, you get Matt Shaw's sacrifice bunt, you get the runners moving on the pass ball that sets up the sacrifice fly. Dansby talked about, to win any game, but especially to win a playoff game, you have to do those kinds of things. Those things become very important, like making the plays on defense, but then also finding some of those ways to score that aren't the home runs. And so that was one of the key takeaways, but also, just the vibe, honestly, was it felt like the locker room after a win in July. These guys are still very much all business. They have a job in front of them. It wasn't overly celebratory. It was, we're happy, but we've got at least one more game to win before we think about moving on, which I think, if you're a fan, that's something that I think is a positive. You don't want a team that's making too much of a game 1 win because there's still at least one more game in this series before they can think about moving on.
Jared, question for you. A lot of people are wondering, is there any relation to Andrew Kittredge? Because I feel like if you put a Cubs hat on, you could be in that Cubs bullpen tomorrow.
Are we talking to Andrew Kittredge right now?
Are you starting tomorrow? Are you the opener?
Surprise, it's me.
So no, you're declining. No.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I wish I could throw like Andrew Kittredge. I would. I think he's got about 30 miles an hour on his fastball compared to me. So, no, I'll take that as a compliment that anyone would even consider that.
He could pitch better, but you can write better. Okay.
That's right. And you can find out at allchgo.com.
We haven't seen his writing. Who knows? Maybe they'll do.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, though.
You could have
pros. Yeah, some heavy pros.
Jared, you were talking about all the small things that could have turned this game, right? Like, you talk about playoff baseball and how close it can be. I was worried that the runner advancing to second early in the game on the throw from PCA where it gets away was going to be a problem. It turns out that it's the wild pitch or the pass ball that gets away late in the game that's more important than that. Yeah. But it's also the way players respond to it, because, yes, there was a lot of good defense around Boyd after that, but he also buckled down after that moment and got himself out of the inning. So a lot of things happened was my point in that. When you think about the guys that actually came through with the 2 biggest hits in the game, the home runs, how incredible is it that it's 2 guys that one is a backup and the other one was so cold 2 weeks ago that people were saying I wouldn't play him the rest of the season. That's how bad it was. Like, Seiya was ice cold, and isn't baseball funny that those two guys can kind of push your team to a playoff win?
Absolutely. And to add on to that, two guys who are playing in a postseason game for the first time in their careers. Cool. Carson Kelley he's a veteran, but he's never played in the postseason before. Seiya Suzuki, he's been with the Cubs for a few years now, but this, of course, is his first postseason. So, there's something to be said for that too, because some of these players that have experienced this kind of an environment before, they at least have some sense for what to expect. But I don't care how long you've been in the league, until you play in a postseason game, there's no real way to know exactly what that's going to feel like. And so for those two guys to come through, and following after, I think it was 11 straight outs from the Cubs, you went from Nico's single in the first inning, and then it was, guy after guy, strikeouts and ground outs and, weak fly balls. They just didn't look like they didn't even have a chance to generate anything. And so huge momentum shift when Seiya Suzuki hits the home run. And then, of course, Carson Kelley that really just kind of puts things over the top. And a ton of credit is due to the bullpen for coming out and just being perfect. I don't remember it's been a while since I've seen Palencia look as dominant as he did today. That strikeout against Jackson Merrill when he got up to 101 miles an hour. And they showed it on the replay in the press box, and Merrill is way behind that pitch. Like he's doesn't have a chance at it. So, and that's a good hitter. So that's really significant too, when you have those guys come out and they pick up the number of outs that they needed to get today and to do it flawlessly.
Yeah, we're talking to Jared Wyllys here. Make sure you check out his wonderful work after this show on allchgo.com. He's going to have a great written piece, I'm sure, after being in the locker room. Jared, I wanted to follow up with Daniel Palencia, so you're leading me right into it, and it's so fascinating what's going on. We got Andrew Kittredge as the opener tomorrow. Shota's going to get the ball. The Padres seem to be a little left-handed leaning on the second half of their lineup, so maybe Shota gets to see Tatís and Machado maybe once, and then Craig's going to have a decision to make. We've seen this now twice where after a starter comes out, it's Daniel Palencia coming in. We're trying to find like a nickname for him. It's not like a fireman. Is he the fixer? Is he the wolf? But is this possibly a role that Craig Counsell could be maybe empowering Daniel Palencia with? Or do you think it also could just be more matchup based and not read too much into Palencia being the first guy out of the chute?
I definitely lean more towards the latter, because one of the things that Counsell emphasized over the weekend during that St. Louis series on Saturday in particular, he talked about Counsell's words were throw roles out the window, and he was talking about his pitchers. His philosophy, I think, as we all know, because we've heard him say it a lot, is it's about getting 27 outs. He tells his pitchers, you are an out-getter, and that's your job, whatever spot in the game you come into. And so I think with Palencia in particular, I personally, I love him coming in after your starter because, you have somebody that comes in and throwing with the kind of power that he does, by the fifth or the sixth inning, these guys haven't been seeing velocity like that, their first couple of at-bats, and then here he comes with triple digits on his fastball. There's something to be said for that, to then hand it over to the rest of the bullpen after, he sets things up that way. But again, I'll go back to, the original question, and I don't think, because you might see Palencia come out in the eighth in another game, or he might close a different game. I think it is very much matchups based, even though I do kind of enjoy this little pocket in the game that Counsell's used him in a few times here.
Jonah in the live YouTube chat suggesting we call him the Reaper because he kills their hopes and dreams.
Oh,
that's possible. I like
Jonah,
that.
2 days in a row with great comments, dude.
Jared,
roll.
Jared, real quick, do you expect any lineup changes for Game 2 out of Craig Counsell, or will he just roll it back out there because it worked? Enough.
Yeah, I don't expect that we'll see anything significantly different. It could very well be the same lineup. Because going up against Dylan Cease, I think, matchup-wise, I don't think that there's nothing that stands out to me as an obvious choice over the guys that they had out there today. So, yeah, I do expect in your lineup in Game 2, you're probably going to see – you could see the exact same thing.
All right, Jared, we're going to let you go because we know you want to burn that cigar on the way home, and traffic's only getting worse, buddy. It's only getting worse. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it, Jared.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And we'll be looking for his work at allchgo.com. Jared Wyllys, the great writer we have, and that's why you want to be a diehard, by the way.
He brings up a good point because tomorrow, Shota, being the bulk guy, doesn't throw very, very hard. So if you take Shota out, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then Palencia, that's a big difference in velocity. That could really throw off a lineup going from Shota to Palencia.
No question about it. All right, we're going to ask you who are your 3 stars, hockey style, coming out of this. We're going to talk more about tomorrow's game now as we move forward. But first, a word from your sponsors. New vehicles in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Drive into Fall event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram vehicles. Right now, get up to $15,000 off MSRP and get 0% financing for 72 months on new 2025 models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Our friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray CDJR, is there to help you. Plus, since they prioritize affordability, you know you're not going to overpay for the vehicle you need. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently, no add-ons, and no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Check out our partner today. Shop one of the area's largest inventories. Find the right vehicle for you. Don't miss out on their Drive into Fall event for huge savings on new models. For more information, Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online, raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Now, Luke, we got a little something tomorrow called Game 2 of the Wild Card Round. And if you're feeling frisky and you want to go to the game, you can wait even to the last minute because the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans, and it's the hack for unlocking all amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. There are great deals all over the place, like zone deals, favorites where you can snag a new ticket and grab a new deal before anyone finds out by following your favorite teams in the Game Time app and receiving alerts. You get seat views, the lowest price guarantee on Game Time, and they will credit you 110% on that difference. Wow. So here's what you got to do. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. CHGO is that code for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
Cubs win 3-1. They're one away from advancing to the NLDS MQ in the live YouTube chat here at the all-new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Subscribe, by the way. Says maybe just one more whiskey before bed. Michael Thiel says, hey, Boyd, low pitch count. Could he be in the bullpen in Game 3 if necessary? That's interesting.
Okay.
No, because there won't be a Game 3, Michael, because there's only 2 games in this series. It will be done tomorrow.
Luke, one thing Barbara said earlier, the 2 new guys don't read the chat because we don't have laptops. No, we have a big screen in front of us. We are reading every single chat that you guys put out there. We just don't have computer. We're seeing on the big screen. We are reading them.
Listen, you have to understand that the godmother of the CHGO Cubs podcast, Barb.
Is that her?
That's Barb. Yeah, that's Barb.
Godmother, come on.
She's also saying that her son Tommy got bitten by a cat, and his hand is swelling up. So
she's had some issues with her having teeth removed. We're glad to see you, Barb.
We wondered why you weren't on the watch along. Okay. Now we know her son's hand was bitten by a cat. Interesting that that cat doesn't fight with the dogs across the street, across the hall, that she makes the turkey meatballs for.
For anybody that wasn't here for our watch along, we will be same time, same place tomorrow. So make sure you check out our watch along. The link will be ready tonight. And then the game is at 2:08 tomorrow, guys?
Same time.
Same time, yeah. Same time,
channel.
same place, yeah. Okay,
and let's circle back with our predictions. You said 6-1?
Yes.
You said 11-4?
I said Cubs win 11-4.
I said 4-1. We won 3-1. Closest to the pin.
But not without going over.
That was me.
Without going over. All right. Yeah, we'll give you that one. And now we're going to go to what we like to call our little mini segments. This is Roman's Just in Time.
All right. I touched on it earlier, but Cubs offense, kind of cold, not looking very good against Nick Pivetta. And the Wrigley Field faithful getting a little nervous, getting a little anxious. And just in time, boom, Seiya Suzuki hits a bomb. Wrigley Field erupts. The energy is back. And before we could stop singing, boom, there it is, Carson Kelley goes back-to-back with Seiya. It started with Seiya. He was just in time to save this offense and save this game. Praise Seiya Suzuki.
Now it is time for that was a wonderful Romans just in time. Now it is time for
we needed that. That was we were waiting. We were waiting on that, and then just in time, we got that offense.
Now we're waiting for. We need a sound effect for this one as well. Joey's Cristobal.
It's like chimes. It's like chimes, if you will. This is rolling forward to tomorrow.
That's it. Joey's Cristobal. That's more of an air raid siren. But
do we have to leave? Is there a threat?
All right,
Everybody
I'm pulling out the
building.
crystal ball. Everyone get underneath your desks and heads between
Joey's
your knees.
Cristobal
And honestly,
predicting extreme weather.
And honestly, that's actually a pretty apt sound, because I will tell you this right now. Joey's crystal ball, I'm doubling down because I don't care. And I don't care if I'm wrong. I went with PCA yesterday. I'm going with PCA again tomorrow. He had an awful day at the plate.
Yes.
He got his first taste. He got his first day of school of Cubs playoffs and October baseball. Well, tomorrow is officially October. So when I said PCA was going to shine in October, I really meant October 1st.
Right.
I did not mean September 30th. Dylan Cease, curveball, big fastball. I get it. PCA, you've been through it. You played 9 innings. You made every play that you needed to make out there in center field, which is great to see.
He made an error.
It was not okay. We can litigate that one, because that is not a PCA error.
I don't
at
think
all.
it is
That
either.
is a complete. That's
Somebody
a Nico
had
Horner.
to get it, but I don't know.
And you said during the time, I'd even give it to Michael Busch for not backing up the play, because then the base doesn't get advanced.
Yes, 1,000%.
But I am going to stay with it. I'm going to stick with my guy. I'm going to stick with the trust. The Players Tribune very own, Pete Crow Armstrong. Tomorrow, good matchup, better matchup for him. I think he shows up tomorrow. I'm sticking with him.
In defense of your Cristobal,
Yep.
I would say that even the guys that did struggle at the plate, both Happ and PCA, you have to remember that little things changed this game. And so did the home runs. But both those guys had an impact on the game in very hidden ways. Happ, every fly ball to the outfield today in that sun for either team was an adventure at Wrigley Field. Happ had one that he had the glasses behind the head, and I'm like, why are the glasses behind the head? Had he dropped the ball, we'd all be sitting here talking about way worse than Brant Brown.
That'd been bad,
okay?
yes.
It didn't happen. He made a tough catch, and he kind of looked and was like, wow, okay, he's been there many times, and so that was great. How many times did PCA track down a fly ball at the warning track today? Made him look almost too casual for my liking sometimes. He likes to, one-hand it, flash a little bit at the side of the head. But in the sun, how many times did he go out there and track down what was a well-hit ball that another guy, it might drop in there?
The Seiya play, Seiya was not making that catch.
Seiya
He
wanted
was
no
said,
part of it.
you taking this, you taking this?
It's like, yours.
Yeah,
Going back to the beginning of the season, spring training, Seiya Suzuki was not happy to be only a DH. Remember?
Yes,
that
I
whole,
do. We thought he was going to ask to be traded.
Yes, he was not happy, right? Funny how baseball works out.
Yeah.
Seiya Suzuki is now playing right field. And that play he wanted no part of, but he did make a catch out in right field. And, funny how things work out. Seiya Suzuki is your starting right fielder in the wild card series because of Tucker's injury.
Well, yeah.
It
Also,
is funny.
he's playing 150 games this year, and he's healthy.
Yeah.
And he's Seiya Suzuki healthy, because maybe he got an opportunity to play DH, and now he's got to go out there and play the field. No, it's funny. And just not to sidetrack on that, I always freak out when we talk about in the offseason about, well, how are you going to play a guy on a baseball team if you have 4 outfielders or whatever? It's like, it's hard to spread 500 and whatever at bats across a 162-game season. You really never know, so it never hurts having a little bit extra.
Before I get to my stuck with me, one more thing about Seiya, and that is this. We were looking, and I started this last night. I was thinking, okay, the Cubs offense in reality is at its best when it does what it did today. Small ball and home runs. Any offense is best when it works that way. But the Cubs are one of the few teams in the postseason with real pop. I don't mean that like Cal Raleigh doesn't have pop. I'm not saying Judge doesn't have pop.
Right.
But there's only 3 out of the 12 teams in the postseason that have 3 guys that have 30 or more home runs. One of them came through, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Seiya came through.
And
that's
argue-
where that's that's when everybody says, like, oh, I want the contact guy. Right. Yes, you want the contact guy, but you have to have that bop in your lineup.
And I'd also add to that potentially we have 4 because if you had a healthy Cal Tucker, that's another guy that you could have Sharpie in over 30 home runs.
Dansby's at 24.
And Dansby, I mean, we do have a lot of thump. It's a matter of like, and that's the best part about it. It could be Seiya and Carson today. Tomorrow it could be PCA and Happ. We got guys that can hit for slug and could thump it out. Pick your hero every single day. It could be somebody different.
I would like to point out that the Yankees were one of those teams. The other 2 teams are the Yankees and the Mariners. Cody Bellinger didn't hit 30, but he did hit 29.
He got close. He got close.
He was,
and they had Giancarlo Stanton with 24. And
they had that
Yankees,
Judge guy.
Yeah.
They had that Judge guy.
They're bombing around.
Anyways, I digress. It is time for Stuck With Me. My Stuck With Me, you stuck with the Cubs when the going got tough, right? Mm-hmm. Craig Counsell stuck with Matthew Boyd after that home run and didn't go to the bullpen too early, and Boyd rewarded him. Craig Counsell stuck with Daniel Palencia even though the end of his season wasn't all that good. There was a lot of sticking with me, but what really sticks with me is that rally playoff cake that came through.
Yes.
What really sticks with me is that before the game, I said to you, my pick is Nico Horner. And if it's not Nico Horner, it's probably Seiya Suzuki. And if it's not Seiya Suzuki, it's probably Carson Kelley.
A third of the lineup you picked.
So I was 3 for 3. And then in the 5th inning, when the Cubs were down and it looked like their season might be heading down the toilet, I went over to the refrigerator and I pulled out Justin Roman's spiced, what is it? Salted caramel cake?
Spiced cake.
That's the one from Portillo's.
Oh.
And I pulled it out of the fridge and I said, I'm going to get a piece of rally cake to spark this offense. And then I looked at it and I said, whoa, big fella, this cake is chilled. It's got to warm up like the Cubs offense. And I put it back on the counter. Seconds later, Seiya, boom. Seconds later, boom, Carson Kelley takes one out. The next thing you know, everything's turned around, and we now have what we like to call the rally cake.
Yes.
Will it be here for game 2? You're damn right it will be. And also maybe something from Kenzie. All I know is all of my predictions were right. Mm-hmm. And I was the one that let that cake warm up, just like the Cubs offense. And that stuck with me.
And can I tell you, this is what a professional does. After 25 years in the business, you had...
Makes it look like I know what I'm talking about.
Well, no, but I'm saying
makes
you
a fool of himself. Oh, that too?
No, you had the grace to say, I'm not eating this whole cake here because we got to save the cake for game 2. I could have bite after bite after bite and give Joey his 11-4 final score. I could do that. But no, I'm saving it for tomorrow.
I can tell you right now that David Kaplan would have been face down into that cake and it would have been gone. It wouldn't even have been around. Cap in his fitness routine, he'd have had salted caramel all over his cheeks and his head.
Take that, cake.
Take that, Kaplan.
Some may say that the cake was a symbol for Seiya Suzuki because it was in the fridge. It was cool. It was cold, too cold. Bring it out, give it some time, and it warms up. It warms up. And same with Seiya. Give him some time, and boom, he's warming up.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. He's hot in the postseason. That cake was nice and warm in your mouth, wasn't it?
We should print the MV cake.
MV
shirts.
cake.
MV cake.
It's got a ring to it.
And the other way that it was fitting is that our offense, we were salty about it, and then the sweet caramel of back-to-back home runs.
Oh, man. So wait a second. What is PCA in this scenario right now? Is he like a piece of pizza that's in the? Is he also
PCA
in the fridge?
Is the chocolate cake shake, just waiting to happen tomorrow.
He's the Jumbo Frank from Omaha Steaks. They're about to toss on the grill.
All right, I want to ask you guys. I want to go through our hockey 3 stars.
Yes.
Like, who were the 3 biggest stars of this game? But I do want to point out, first of all, thanks to everybody in the live YouTube chat that has joined us today and for like 3 hours of a watch along.
You're the MV
that
cake.
was going on. We're going to do it all again tomorrow. So tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger, and then tell that total stranger's neighbor. We are going to overtime. We don't usually go over an hour.
Oh, we
for
are.
a podcast. But we are going to go overtime because this is a playoff win. Mm-hmm. And this is the first playoff win in CHGO Cubs history.
12 more. We need 12 more.
So we're going to keep on going if you want to stay on the chat. Okay?
Slumber party. We're
And the first thing we will address is going to be our 3 stars, okay?
Let's do it.
So let's do it. Our 3 stars. Now remember, your number 1 star is your biggest star of the game in hockey. So I want to start at 3, then I want to go to 2, then I want to go to 1. Tyler says Dansby, Seiya, Kelley, the MV cake, worthy.
It's pretty good.
Barb wants to vote Cap, bum of the week. She always
Poor
does
Cap.
that.
He's just minding. He's enjoying the Cubs win. And
Genway says Seiya, bullpen, and cake are the 3 stars. We need a graphic for that. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. You
right,
said
Justin.
3 is the biggest star?
3 is, you build up to number 1.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, your top star is number 1.
Okay, I will go 3.
Gene Honda. And now down to Justin Roman with our 3 stars
All right.
of the game.
My 3 stars of the game. Number 3 will be Dansby Swanson. I thought defensively he was phenomenal. Saved the 1 run. Number 2, I will go Matthew Boyd. He gave us a great 4 1/3 innings. Number 1 for me is Seiya Suzuki. I've said it all chat long, all show long. This offense changed with 1 swing of the bat. The vibe at Wrigley changed. 1 swing of the bat. Seiya Suzuki, without a doubt, is my star number 1.
All right, let's do it.
Man, there's so many choices.
There
really
are.
are.
There are
For
a lot of
3-1
choices,
game, tons of choices.
And Justin, I largely agree with you. So I don't want to be like a contrarian or whatever. So, but I am going to start with number 3 is cake. Let's be honest here. Things were getting really dark around here in the chat until that cake showed up. So I'm going to go with that number 3. Number 2, a close, almost like a 1A. I loved what I saw from Dansby Swanson today.
Yes.
It wasn't just it's when you talk about the highest paid player on the team and a paid player that sometimes is maligned for the type of contract that he's getting paid for and the type of production that he's put out. But early on in that game, runner on third base, diving stab.
Save the run.
Runner can't get there, right? Steady all day long, making plays up in the middle. When we talk about captains, when we talk about leaders, that's what Dansby Swanson looked like today.
Yep.
And then came up with a huge base hit to get a rally going, to score a run, scored that 3rd incredibly important run, and got us that insurance, and then had that energy going across home plate. So Dansby Swanson's number 2. And then number 1, I'm not going to disagree with you, man, because you're right. Seiya Suzuki, man. Seiya Suzuki, you need your talented players to show up in the biggest moments. We've said Kyle Tucker maybe twice in the last hour. Right, and thankfully that's because we're talking so much about Seiya Suzuki and what he brought to the table today, hitting that home run, going yard against a high-end, their ace in their staff. And that's what it's going to take. Your big stars going up against their big stars and us winning the day. So Seiya Suzuki, he's my big star for sure.
We have a couple of Toyota Super Chats we want to get to real quick. We have DJ Ricks responding to this by saying, Stuck, Joey, and Roman.
Which order is he saying it, though? Is he going 3 to 1? Is he going 1 to 3?
I mean, if he's your boy, you look like you're number 1 star,
That's
right?
You brought the cake, but I brought it out of the fridge, so I don't know. Whatever. Hey, DJ, we'll take it. Thank you for your donation.
Thank you, buddy.
Braggs in the stands, still celebrating his Bears win in Vegas at Stadium Swim, I believe. Braggs is saying cheers from Las Vegas.
Yeah,
We're going to have
please-
to get him to phone call in tomorrow during the live.
Yeah, please
watch
tell
along.
me he just did that super chat from a lazy river, right? And he's just
I just
doing
hope
the
he
turn.
had, I just hope he had pants on. That's all really. For Braggs, I just hope brick by brick, he's building this Cubs postseason.
I love it.
I would agree with you on a lot of the names that I've just heard. Dansby Swanson, one of the 5 biggest plays in the game was the over-the-shoulder catch.
Yes.
I mean, that was an unbelievable catch, and it was looking like it was going to be a big Padres rally. So that was one of them. But he doesn't make my top 3.
Really?
Daniel Palencia could easily be one of my 3.
Agreed.
Matthew Boyd could easily be one of my 3.
Yeah.
Of course, the cake could be one of my 3. But I will stick with the 3 that got me here. My number 3 star, Nico Horner. And I'm going to do them in reverse order. Nico Horner, right there. 2 hits and the sac fly that gets the 3rd run. And great defense. Number 2 star was the guy I was thinking about going with next. Seiya Suzuki. First home run, totally changed the game.
Yeah.
My number 1 star, Carson Kelley playoff
go-ahead
game,
home
man.
run.
Wow.
The go-ahead game-winning RBI from your backup catcher. I have no doubt that every other play we just mentioned was spectacular.
Yeah, right.
But they don't go ahead and they don't win the game without the back-to-back homers, and it takes his second one to get it done.
Joey brought up a good point. A lot of players could be the star of the game for a 3-1 game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not talking about like multiple home runs. I mean, you are, but like 5 home runs. And I mean, your 3-1 game isn't a lot of offense. And you can list 10 guys that be worthy to be on that list. This was a very big team effort. And I love seeing that because it's going to take a team to win the World Series.
That's what's got to give you hope, right?
Yeah.
Is that, and not to evoke his name and bring any sort of like down vibes or anything, but when you lose a guy like Cade Horton, when you have an ace going into the playoffs, you're like, well, we have Cade Horton going today. So it makes it feel more like this individual effort that he's going to carry the day. And those are the games that we're going to win thanks to Cade Horton. And look at what the Detroit Tigers did today, thanks to Tariq Skubal. But today was, you're right, man. It was again, this team solid across the board. It was not pretty for 4 or 5 innings. They got some runs on the board. And even like, I'll throw one your way too as well. Like I thought you made a great point that we were talking all day yesterday about making sure that you have a lead when those important Padre bullpen arms came in.
Yeah.
And Mason Miller looked awesome today.
Unhittable.
But guess what? We had the lead.
Yes.
Right? So it didn't hurt or affect the game maybe as drastically as we were worried about.
Yeah.
Anticipate seeing him tomorrow. Anticipate seeing Suarez tomorrow, right? Like
They're going with everybody they can.
Blueprint, Xerox this game plan, do it again tomorrow. Can you get a couple more runs? That would be awesome. But that was the recipe for success today.
You could easily just say the Cubs bullpen was number 3.
1,000%, yeah.
Right?
I wanted to do that, but it was
bullpen,
that's
I
a lot
mean,
of stars into
well,
one.
it's cheating.
You
Yeah,
could also,
that's what it is, and I
mean,
don't.
I know he's not a player, but you could give Craig Counsell a lot of credit as well.
Oh.
He pressed all the right buttons. And again, the big knock on him was he can't win in the postseason. He's 1-0 in the postseason as our manager.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Sure is.
He is. All right, so tomorrow we get the opener Kittredge, then we get Shota. We may get a similar lineup, and we get the former Cub factor in Dylan Cease.
Or future Cub factor in Dylan Cease while we're at it.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. We can
interesting.
sprinkle that out
Is
there.
he auditioning?
I'm only living.
Cease and Horton.
I'm
in the
only
same
living for
rotation?
tomorrow,
Ooh.
but yeah. I'm just saying.
Let's not move forward to the offseason
No,
just
let's
yet,
live in the
please.
now.
Dylan Cease, do you approach this? How do you approach this offensively? In your opinion, do you like we were saying? Maybe they should have played a little more small ball early in this game today.
Yeah.
Would you like to see that against Cease?
I personally would do the same exact lineup. I feel like Pivetta and Cease are similar hard throwers, and I want the same exact lineup that I saw today. Would I like more small ball? Absolutely, because we're saying a lot of positive things right now, as we should. But I see a glaring negative when we had runners on first and second and nobody out, and Ian Happ was up batting right-handed, and I was screaming top of my lungs, bunt, bunt, bunt. Yep. He didn't. He grounded into a double play. Worst case scenario, they don't score. So would I like to see more small ball? Absolutely. It's hard to be mad at a Cubs win in the playoffs, but there is room to do better, and I think tomorrow, hopefully, we learn from that mistake, and if it comes up again, I don't care who you are, have Counsell, have them lay the bunt down, because every run is so important. At that time, we were not up by 2 runs. We were up by 1 run. So every run matters, and, I mean, it's the playoffs. You got to get a little uncomfortable and do things that you haven't done all season long, because every run is so important in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the key to tomorrow is, when you talk about a long Major League Baseball season, it's all about adjustments. I think in the playoffs, it's more about making those adjustments quickly and on the fly. I would be really curious to see that Nick Pivetta had such great success up in the zone with that 4-seam fastball. Dylan Cease can bring that as well. Mm-hmm. Do they try that same approach tomorrow against the Cubs lineup? And if that's the case, my advice to the Cubs lineup is just calm down and center yourself. You've been through 9 innings now, and just like in League of Their Own, see if you can lay off the high stuff a little bit, because I will tell you, when it comes to Dylan Cease, he can get a little wild. And also, he has great stuff. He sometimes struggles with put away stuff. What I mean by that is you can have a lot of foul balls and long at bats with Dylan Cease. You can wear him down a little bit. If you can get that pitch count up in the 60s by that 4th inning, he's not going to be in the game very long, and you might be able to attack him. So tomorrow is a great day for the Chicago Cubs to get back to that grinder mentality at the plate, try and work some counts, try and get some traffic by getting some base on balls, making life tough for Dylan Cease, making him make that same great pitch 2 or 3 times in the same at bat, and I think that's going to be the key to success for the Cubs.
Joey,
tomorrow.
can I piggyback real fast? You say lay off the high stuff, and if you're PCA, lay off the grounders and the bouncers.
Please.
Because I mean, we saw some horrible swings from him.
So
learn from that.
It's going to be the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, great 12-6 curveball, great 4-seam fastball. If he hangs one, don't miss. But again, with PCA, I mean, it can't be here, and then it can't be spin, only going 52 feet, right? I mean, come on, man, middle ground. Recenter yourself, recalibrate.
Clean slate tomorrow.
Yeah, we all know that you're a better player than that, and I'm hoping that the Cubs get after Dylan Cease early and often, stick to your game plan of scoring early, and then we just play keep away.
Cubs win. Final 3-1 out at Wrigley Field. You guys were here, the whole chat. Like, the whole watch
Bobby
along.
Blanco,
You were here.
Christian A.
Oh, man, thanks to everybody.
We had everybody in
we
here.
We had Barb join in.
Jonah
Jonah was great. Hey, by the way, Michael Thiel said something about Rhino. I agree with it. Like, this has got it. He said, let's do this. Let's exercise those demons, Michael Thiel said. Win it for Rhino. Take care of this. Exercise 84. And let's flip the script and move on and bring on the Brewers. So let's get it done tomorrow. We're going to be here right o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:08. 2:08, we'll start it up. 2:08 Central, we'll start it up. Watch the game with us right here, CHGO Cubs. Thanks to everybody that joined us today. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel. Sign up to be a diehard. We're back tomorrow. You will be too. And don't forget, as always, thanks for watching and fly the W.
Go Cubs, go!
We all silly like the mayor.